y'all. Did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel at SisterSis1988, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at SisterSis1988. We are coming back with our second episode. Coming back, and we are bringing Mrs. No No back. But before we get back in, I'm Jamie.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Calandra.
So, Miss No No, my last question for you is: how do you measure whether your community initiatives are driving real transformation?
If it's a digital community, it's really important to make sure that measurement goes beyond likes and logins. So at Transformation Leader, we look at things like your CPD accredited hours logged, your peer-to-peer activities that you've completed, whether you've interacted with your mentor, an ambassador, or your transformation partner. We also look at the ROI that's captured in the impact log. So what I mean by that is, time saved, money saved, team strengthened, whatever the case may be. And lastly, we want to understand that there is an element of behavioral change. So are leaders showing more confidence? Are they more collaborative? Are they compassionate at work? Because a lot of the times when you think about communities, you're just going, oh, I want to build a community, but you need it. Like, what problem are you solving for? So our problem that we were solving for was very specific. We wanted to make sure that we are able to build transformation practitioners. And what does a transformation practitioner need? They need all these like tools in their toolbox. So that's how we measure the community initiatives. And for other people, it could be something different. It could be maybe engagement that you see on your comments, depending on what goal you're trying to achieve in your community.
Okay. So how do you leverage AI or analytics to better understand and serve your community?
We use AI to identify patterns. So who is most engaged, where are people dropping off, and which activities spark most transformations. We have a transformation partner who basically starts, when you start the program, you start with someone from the beginning all the way till you're completed with that program. That person has an AI companion. And what we do is we actually analyze some of the conversations that you'd be having with that to understand, are they still gaps that we need to identify? And that's where we bring that community. So you'd bring in the ambassador, you'd bring in the mentor to basically help try and close that gap. Because the way I look at it is that don't just use a tool just to say you have a tool. It needs to be doing something. So analytics helps us adapt. It allows us to like book more webinars, for example, or podcast quotes that are inspiring. Or the goal is always to personalize the journey without losing the human touch. So for us, technology really helps create that authentic personalization. And that's how we leverage AI and analytics.
Okay. I think that kind of goes into the next question, but the next question is, how has technology transformed the way we build and scale a community?
So technology has removed borders. That's really the first thing. It's also democratized a lot of things like data democratization. Think about, let me not even go into data. Let me talk something like very simple. YouTube. Now you can go and see someone else's life. Some of y'all, and I'm not even trying to be shady, will never go on a yacht, okay? But because of YouTube, you can experience that firsthand, right? Or you can see how like the ultra wealthy live or the ultra poor or whatever the case, everything in between. It's now on your fingertips with technology. So I feel like that's how it's really transformed the way our communities are. But if you want to think about building and scaling, you can now, if you're removing borders, now I can match a leader in Nairobi with a peer in Houston for a transformation talk. Or instead of communities that once took years to build, it's now taking weeks to assemble digitally. Because, oh, I need to come from Atlanta. Oh, you need to come from London. You need to come from Perth, Australia. Like that's not happening anymore. We can pick a time and just meet together. So technology has given us scale, but the secret is still human. You really can't get rid of that. So I really recommend creating rituals in your community, accountability, and storytelling that makes the scale still feel intimate. Because now when you are 3 or 4 people, it feels cozy. Now, when you're 100 people, how do you still make it feel like it's just 3 or 4 people? That's really the trick there.
True. I can see that. So, what are some common challenges when leveraging community for growth, and how can technology help overcome them?
The biggest challenges are drop off and surface level engagement. A lot of the time, just think about it. I go, hey guys, there's this new whatever. We're all like, oh, we want to do it. Everyone's online. They see it for 2 seconds. I don't know if it's because of social media, like our attention span is as long as a fly's life. And it just disappears. And then when you have surface level engagement where we go, okay, we want you to like, we want you to engage, and you're just doing it, but you're not really internalizing and growing. And that can be an issue because many communities now become just noisy chat rooms. But technology can help with that because you can structure journeys. So what we do is we have onboarding, we have challenges, we have rituals. Other things is you can make progress very visible. So we have implemented like leadership boards and the impact log so that we understand what it is that we're actually doing. And you can have automated reminders so leaders stay consistent. The trick is really balancing automation with authentic touch points. And that's why you have that transformation partner who's a real life human being that's going to be able to say, hey, how are you doing? Is everything okay? I noticed that you were quite quiet in this call. What's going on? Because sometimes we are like humans are just so interesting. Like sometimes you just want someone to care for you to feel like, okay, I can do this. And that personal one-on-one touch is how you can basically avoid some of those common challenges.
Okay. Okay. What advice would you give other transformational leaders trying to integrate community into their digital strategy?
First thing I want is you need to stop thinking of community as an add-on, make it the backbone. So don't just run courses or build peer challenges. Don't just collect feedback because there's this thing, oh, you must get feedback from your client, your customer is always right. You really need to log the impact and don't try to do it all yourself. With us, we have ambassadors. I'm an ambassador. I'm there are a lot of other ambassadors that are not only in Texas or the United States, but all over the world. So it's a community and an ecosystem that has allowed us to create this culture. And transformation is sustained when the community drives it, not when leadership forces it. So when we go into an organization, we really try to make sure that very quickly they start owning that transformation. So just like how we have our own ambassadors, mentors, and partners, we want them to basically create and replicate that space in their organization so that the community is driving that transformation. And it's not okay, I'm the CEO and I've decided that this needs to happen, this needs to, so that's kind of how I would recommend you do it if you want transformation to be integrated into your digital strategy.
Okay. Okay. So with the services that you offer, what do you say? Like, who's your target audience? What would you say? Who's your target audience?
I would say organizations that are either ongoing or starting to think about digital transformation, whether they are failing at it or don't know where to start, we are the right partners for you. Because what we do is we go in and we ensure that everyone understands what it takes to actually implement a digital transformation project. Because it's not, like I said, it's not about technology. It's about people, it's about processes, and it's about making sure that all those different elements sync together, that they're aligned. Because when you're transforming something, that means you're changing it completely, the way that people interact with something. So think about how Netflix used to be CDs and now is streaming.
Right.
That's a transformation, right? How you used to call on a landline, but now you're calling on a phone and a video call on top of that. That's a transformation. So all that requires a lot of understanding around psychology, sociology, tools, and organizational change, as well as behavioral management. So we are great partners if you are actually looking to digitally transform your organization. Thank you.
Okay. What if you're afraid to get into the digital transformation though? Like, what would you say to organizations?
Well, what I would recommend is maybe just start with some of our free courses that we have that kind of give you, I'm sorry, not free courses, some of our beginner courses they show you, simple things. What is digital transformation? If you go to Data Sentinels on YouTube, they are free. There's access to free stuff around aspects around technology to give you an idea of like what's out there. Another great course that I recommend that I actually I used to do this live, but now it's on demand is AI stacking for beginners because sometimes you don't even know what tools are out there, how to even
Right.
approach
True.
looking at a tool to say, well, should I do this one? Should I do that one? Because there's so many tools out there. And you can do that at your own time. It's on www.t4leader.com. And I can share you the links to that specific course because that I think is a great, like, it whets your appetite to go, okay, well, maybe let me just start with myself before I go to my organization.
Okay.
Okay. What would you say about people would you say this platform will work for people who want to grow something like a podcast channel, YouTube channel?
So if you want to grow a podcast channel, I would recommend that you go through the ambassador program track. So if you have 10 or more years of experience, they have an ambassador program that's really aimed around visibility, as well as creating you as a thought leader and opportunities for future earning. So that would be the right avenue to go through if you are someone who wants to grow like a podcast or like social media, you want to be
Right.
seen more. Yeah, that would be my recommendation.
And you said that is a requirement of 10 plus years. So that's the person who's interested.
Yes, the person who's interested needs to have at least 10 years of experience because what happens in that space is that you might also be linked to an organization. So if an organization wants someone with your certain expertise, we need to ensure that you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ms. Lona, we so appreciate your time today. We so
Well,
appreciate
thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this
And thank
conversation.
you, Ms.
the
Lona.
information
It's
was
been a pleasure.
great. So
Until next time.
there's strength in sisterhood.
And supporting sisterhood.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.